All right, and then so Dave, let's change gears a little bit. So, why should people get a trust, with their NFA item?
There are several good reasons to get a trust. The one that to me is the absolute most people don't think about it is possession.
Mm.
And what you get is the 23-year-old guy just came across some money, isn't married, thinks, "Oh, I'll never be married."
Mhm.
But we all know he is gonna be married someday more than likely. And it's a you need to be able to have possession. You need to be able to allow possession for anybody else in your life. So if somebody once you are married, somebody breaks into your house, your wife's home alone, she uses the gun in self-defense with the suppressor, she's committing a felony if you don't have a trust and she's not on it.
Oh,
Ooh.
So it's a pretty big deal. And there's also inheritance. Inheritance is another big one. It makes inheritance simpler, right?
And
But
some people think they can. Well, I'll just put it in my will.
yeah, and you can do a Form 5 when you die. That does work. There's no tax, but it's just a hassle for your beneficiaries,
Gotcha.
right? Whereas with the trust, all the hassle goes away because your beneficiaries are already dealing with you dying, right? We're gonna assume they're sad, but it's a they're dealing with that, and
they'll be
there's
happy to get your suppressor,
yeah,
though.
that's right. It's the possession though is the bigger deal that affects you when you're alive, right?
Okay. And then what's the difference between like the single shot trust, the NFA gun trust?
In my opinion, that single shot is the way to buy a silencer.
Mm.
Every time you buy one, you get a new trust that's assigned to that specific silencer, SBR, machine gun, whatever, right? And and then you can add trustees to it after it's approved. So it's only your fingerprints, only your photo, only your background check to get it
Wow.
approved.
Okay.
You add other people on, and then you go to buy another silencer 2 weeks later, you just get another trust and it's still just you. As soon as you add additional trustees to a trust, every person on there has to get fingerprints, photos, all the whole shebang. They have to be involved in, signatures and everything else, right?
Okay.
So it simplifies the process and gives you a lot more flexibility.
So single shot trust, $21.95, very cheap on Silence Shop's
That's
website.
right. Yep.
Very cheap. And so if I do that, and then once I go ahead and pick up the item, then I can add people later.
That's right.
Wow.
So these trusts are exclusive silencer shop
They are.
trusts,
Yep.
pretty ironclad legal documents,
Yep.
basically.
They're tied into our system very tightly too. So they're honestly, you even get the benefits of registering as an individual because ATF doesn't want a lot of trustees when they're doing background checks. They prefer these one person trusts, right?
Mhm.
Mm.
So
And what do you do in a situation where the person hasn't picked it up yet from the gun store? They passed away, and they have it under a single shot trust.
that's a good question. If they you can actually write people onto a single shot trust after it's been approved,
Okay.
and the new person you write on can pick it up.
Okay.
But if you're dead,
You can't do it.
yeah, that's something like I
Ooh.
said, hadn't considered before.
Wow. Yeah, we've had to deal with that this year. But luckily, this person actually had someone else named on the trust, and they were able to
Okay.
pick it up.
Yep.
So it wasn't in the situation of the single shot. So very sad situation. They went on vacation and actually drowned while on vacation,
Oh man,
and
that's
and we
horrible.
actually been contacting them, trying to call them for like 2 years, and so we're not even supposed to hold it that long. And so I was like, okay, I noticed we've had this thing a long time. It's like I've got to either cancel this trust or something, cancel the tax stamp, because that's an issue. So I finally got in touch with someone, realized his brother is also a regular customer in the shop. And so found out he's on the trust. He brought a copy of the trust and he was able to pick it up. So very sad situation. And, we just didn't realize why this was a regular customer. We didn't realize why we were unable to get in touch with him. And so
Yeah.
we found out.
You get into those 12-month wait times, and that kind of thing happens more often than you
Mhm.
think.
Yes, it does. Very sad situation. And it happens with just regular guns too. Things that people buy online and have it shipped to the shop. Be surprised how
Really?
often someone actually passes away and not pick up their item. We've had guns since for like 5 years. Uh, no one picked them up. Call them, and then we end up Googling, researching, and figure out that person passed away.
Right.
And we've had it for like 5 years. Yeah, so it does happen. Does happen.